Now, the only thing I'll say about that is that I have to lean toward, not because he's Trump, but I have to lean toward because he's a man, because a lot of women will cry rape in a minute. I think all of us at one point or another have been in that situation. So I could.
Oh, hold on, brother. You got to say grape.
Grape.
When you're up here.
Much that it was great, dude. It's like the fourth time I see President Trump. I met him in person when I was in the service. He gave me a coin in 2017. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, he's a great guy, man. And the liberal media just puts him off as like some monster, but I think the monster is really the media.
So, Apple, I have the $1 million question. I need to know, was it electric? That's what I need to know.
Oh, yeah, that was bumping, bro. You can, dude. So my best advice to watch, like, video output is Right Side Broadcasting Network. They
these titles to her. And the reason that leftists are not pissed is because Russian bots that are in those spaces are not there anymore.
And there's a lot of some internal polling and stuff, but you being on the ground, what do you see?
So I work for a big DoD contractor, and I'll just tell you that those polls are fake. Everybody, like 90% of the people I talk to here on the ground, just who I never met, spark conversation with going Trump.
Well, I will tell you this, and hopefully people will hear it. Some of the internal polling that I've seen from my trade association have actually been extremely positive for Trump. So some of the polling that's showing the narrowing, I think there's some natural bump that Harris was going to receive anyways. But the internal polling, especially when you come down to the issue-oriented things, have been extremely lopsided on the Trump side.
So can I ask you, sir, what is the source of those polls, though? You know what I mean?
So without giving too much info, work for a trade association that does a lot of advocacy work.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pro-business organization, so they want to know where the temperature is because they need to know what they need to do next 4 years.
Okay, so I also work for a company that resides with Trump. Do you guys believe that they will let him win. I mean, they're letting in millions and millions of illegal immigrants.
Don't start going down that road, brother. You're probably new to TikTok and all, but what I would say to that is no, we don't believe in any of that. And if you want to speak on that, listen, we have a private Discord group chat server if you guys want to join it. It's all Trump supporters. It's uncensored. You can have these types of conversations on there. Almost 1,600 members in the group. And if you want to join, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. The app is called Discord. I'll put the name of the app up on here, my username, if you guys want to join.
I was going to say, do you have a link for your Discord? Because I follow a few of the Discords, and I'd love to follow you.
I just have people add me.
Yeah. I'll add you. Just
want radical left Marxist Democrats getting a hold of the server.
No, I completely understand.
That's my username above. And then for the folks who don't know what Discord is, if you're a Trump supporter and you're in here and you're listening, first and foremost, hit the red follow button at the top of the screen. Greatly appreciate it if you do that. If you could tap the screen and like the live while I explain this. So you'll open up the App Store on, well, let me explain to you what Discord is first. It's basically a big group chat. It's kind of like Telegram if you're familiar with Telegram, but it's a million times better than Telegram. You can post pictures in there, videos, memes, videos from other platforms. We have a live panel we can do in there just like on TikTok, except the difference is you're not censored. You can have as many people in the box as you want, and there's no limit. And so we notify people whenever we're going live on there. We give out breaking news in there, news articles. We just talk amongst each other. So if you open up the App Store on your iPhone, the app is called Discord, and it's the same in Google Play for Android as well. So what you'll do is you'll search this app here, okay? This is what the app looks like. Let me turn my brightness down. Discord, Discord. So that's the name of the app at the bottom of the screen, down to the left, in case you forget the name to search. So search this app, you'll download it, you'll open it up, it's free. When you're done doing that, you'll click on Add Friends, Add by Username, and you shoot me a friend request, MAC6285. That's my username down below as well. So the name of the app and my username. So you'll send me a friend request. I'll basically accept the friend request, and then I'll send you a personal invite into the actual server here. Okay, 1,557 active members. We just created it about 3.5 weeks ago. And if you're a Trump supporter and you want to join, I suggest doing it. It's a way for us all to stay connected as a tight, close-knit community. And this way we never lose contact with each other. Because I know people constantly, get taken down off lives, or, their videos get censored, their accounts get banned, the whole 9 yards. So it's just a way for people to stay together as one, in case this censorship, which I think it will here real soon, starts getting out of control, because it's going to. It happened in 2020, so what makes you think it's not going to happen again, right? So that's what I would say to that. I suggest you download it. It's free. Get us in there. Also, if you have a Rumble account, I do a live stream on there as well. I live stream every Trump rally, every interview, every press conference, and I host a watch party for it on my Rumble channel. If you're not familiar with Rumble, it's another free app in the App Store. It's kind of like YouTube, but it's like a conservative YouTube. It's free speech driven. It's kind of very similar to Twitter X, and you get a lot of good information on here. I think Dan Bongino is a co-owner of it. So if you're a Bongino fan, this is where he exclusively live streams at. Donald Trump joined the app back in the day when he was first canceled from big tech. One of the first apps he joined, if you remember, they were having issues where they were literally being forced off the app stores because of the information they were giving out, and they were trying to censor them, essentially. They ended up winning the court case. They got the app back eventually in the long run. But Rumble, RUMBLE, go download that. It's free as well. And then you can, follow me on there as well. But what I would say to that is, if you get, I'm not going to overload your mind here. Just get me on Discord. And if you want the Rumble info, I'll put it in there. Discord is probably the main thing you need to worry about, is what I'll say. But I'll say to the folks who already have Rumble, I'll just put my username on the screen here, but it's Discord. Download that, okay? Open it up, create an account. Add by you'll click add friends at the top of the screen when you're done doing that. Add by username, punch in MAC6285. I'll accept the friend request, and I forgot, I didn't even show you what to do after I accept your friend request. Hold on, give me a second, I'll show you guys what to do after that. So what'll happen is, after I accept you, I'll invite you, okay, and you'll basically check your inbox. It'll be an invite. You just click join.
I think I just requested you. It's under Christian something.
Alright, hold on. Because it keeps making me
Do the robot thing.
verify if I'm a human. I don't know why. Thank you, Yvonne. Yvonne. Yeah, so I think I just sent you one. So what you'll do is you'll check your inbox. This will be the invite. You click join, and it'll bring you right in. We get quite a lot of people joining this. Like I said, we're almost at 1,600 members in the first 3.5 weeks. So, there's a lot of people in there that are always active. What I would say is also, if you're somebody who doesn't like getting a lot of notifications, you might want to go into the settings on your phone and turn them off. You probably will get a lot because people are constantly conversing in there. So I don't know how to do it on Android, but if you got an iPhone, you'll go into settings, you'll go to notifications, you'll scroll down Discord. Okay, I even have mine off, and you'll swipe to turn off allow notifications, and this way you're not getting bombarded with notifications. I don't know how it works on Android. I'm guessing it would be the same. You just go into your settings, you turn them off. But it's just a big group chat, and it's all like-minded people such as yourself. And as you can see, everybody's in here talking about Trump, and it's called the Ultra MAGA Trump Club. And it's all good people in there, I promise you. So that's what I would say to that. But what made me think of it is, there's a lot of these creators on the left that have a Discord, right? And so if you've ever wondered how a lot of these people on the left get all these views on their lives, like as soon as they go up, they all got Discord servers. Or if you've ever wondered why when you go into a panel of one of these lives on the left, and they start, attacking your account and going after you and harassing you, that's because your page is probably being shared behind the scenes in their Discord, or they're notifying their viewers whenever they're going live. So all their community members are, rushing to their live. When they go live, they notify them. So I was like, well, do we have one on our end? Has a Trump supporter made one yet? And so that's what made me think of it almost a month ago. I talked another good friend of mine into making one as well. You probably know him, the older millennial. And so, I think we made ours at the same time. But, it's just a place for your closest community members to join together, and then they can be notified when you're specifically going live. Because I go live quite a bit, I go live every day, 12 to 15 hours, sometimes more. I don't get paid for doing this, and I don't mind that. I don't do it for that reason, right? I do it to get President Trump reelected. That's all I care about, and getting the truth out there. Trump says this is the final battle for a reason, and it's one last chance, to get things back to somewhat of a normalcy. And if we don't, you're not going to have Trump running again. There's not going to be anybody standing in the way again. And I know there's some Democrats in this panel. I don't know if
I've definitely been kicked from different TikTok lives. Definitely had a hold on my account. I just got able to be in another live August 18th. It's actually ridiculous, and there's definitely been just people that are completely unable to hear the other side, and it's been so apparent to me that they.
If you sent me a friend request on Discord, go open the app back up. Make sure you join the group, because now you have to check your messages. I accepted you. I sent you a personal message to join.
Yep.
That's the final thing you got to do. And then it should bring you into the general chat. If not, you'll see a message in the rules section, which is where it'll bring you. It's got the most likes. It's got 31 likes. It's a welcome message from me. And then it basically says to tap on general chat to go to the main chat where everybody is, in case for whatever reason it doesn't automatically bring you in there. That's what you got to do. Yeah, so like I said, I don't get paid to come on here. I don't care about getting paid. I just want to get President Trump reelected. And I know it's going to take a lot for us to win this thing, and we have to learn from our mistakes from last time. And what I mean by that is we need to be poll watchers, we need to be poll observers, we need to be volunteering to do the little things that matter and count. Otherwise, we really shouldn't be complaining about these things come election day, right? If we're not willing to do the simple things and the small things that mean the most to help us win this thing. So that's what I would say to that. And if you want to help support Donald Trump, or if you want to become a volunteer, you go on to protectthevote.com. Protectthevote.com. You can also go on to TrumpForce47.com as well. And if you go on there, there's a bunch of events at the top right of the page, and you can participate in some of these phone banks. And what a phone bank is you participate in it and you make phone calls to targeted voters or independents or silent majority voters who have not decided yet. And you try to reel them in on your side, and you can help Trump's campaign team out with that, because they have them all across the country, right, in different areas. And you can literally go onto that events tab and sign up or get directions to go down and help out. And that's on TrumpForce47.com. You can also go from door to door, knocking on doors, doing the grassroots work, handing out yard signs to your neighbors. They'll literally give you yard signs to hand out to your neighbors. That's TrumpForce47.com. But the most important one is the poll watching and the poll observing. So you find that by going on ProtectTheVote.com. Okay. You can also register to vote early on ProtectTheVote.com. You can bank. It's called Banking Your Vote Early online, and you can get educated on election laws on there. You can report ballot integrity issues. They'll prepare you to be a poll watcher or poll observer. Listen, if you're in any of the key swing states, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Arizona, these are the places. If you live there and you're listening to this right now, we need you more than ever right now. We need you as a poll watcher or a poll.
Hang on, sir. Can I cut in? I'm in Arizona.
Yeah. So go ahead. You got a question?
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say. You said it was what was the two websites? Because I have two neighbors that are retired and they want to be poll watchers. So what was the website again?
It's ProtectTheVote.com with 2 T's.
And where can I get free lawn ornaments?
That's TrumpForce47.com.
Okay. All right. I'm out here in Arizona. Definitely.
And you
spreading
should
my-
be able to just go to your nearest municipality building and get them too. I think they started handing them out quite some time ago, if I'm not mistaken.
So, and it's so wonderful you're talking about grassroots. Votes do matter. And here's something that we on the right side have been really bad at, and we need to get much better, and that is that early voting and banking. Once you vote, you are saving the campaign so much money. They're not going after you. But until you vote, they're going to keep on trying to contact you. So that absentee and early voting is extremely important, especially in those swing states, but in everywhere. Get out and vote. Do not think for a second your vote does not count. It does. It matters. I have an election currently here in my community that it is 2 votes away from each other. Literally 2 votes. We just had a primary on August 20th. So your vote really, truly does matter. And what Justin, everything that he just said, I have been a commissioner. I know how much those signs and that getting that voice out really does matter. Every single thing, getting your neighbors, every way that you can to get that information out is crucial to actually have a successful November 5th.
Yeah, and
Can I
listen,
also?
one last thing is, this is the most important probably. And they're not going to tell you this on the mainstream media either. But Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, known as CISA, they're a government agency. They did a joint release press conference with the FBI July 31st. It's on their website if you want to go check it out. CISA.gov, in case anybody's wondering or trying to question this here. And particularly a Democrat, as they like to do that. But they're warning us of a potential DDoS attacks that could hinder access to election information. They're trying to say it would not prevent voting. Basically, a DDoS attack is a cybersecurity attack. Okay, it's called a distributed denial of service attack. That's what DDoS means. And it's a cybercrime that involves flooding a server within internet traffic to prevent users from accessing online services. So when you witnessed Elon Musk and Donald Trump do their interview on X, and a lot of people couldn't get in there, it took like 40 minutes to start the interview, right? Sorry, I got a lot of background noise here. Wait till it goes away because this is kind of important. And I know that background noise drowns my voice out and it's annoying. All right, so it's called a DDoS attack. And like I said, it's a distributed denial of service attack. It's a cybercrime. It involves flooding a server within internet traffic to prevent users from accessing online services. So when Elon Musk and Donald Trump were doing their interview a couple of Mondays ago, you noticed it took them about 30 or 40 minutes to start. People were saying they couldn't get in. It was giving some people errors trying to get into it. They were experiencing a distributed denial of service attack, a DDoS attack. And my point to this is if it took Elon Musk, a very tech-savvy gentleman, okay, who has very high resources, to fix it in 30 or 40 minutes time, how long do you think it would take an election worker to fix this with just a basic IT technician guy, calling them to get them out there? This wouldn't be fixed for at least 3 to 4 hours, probably longer, I would assume. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen because according to CISA, right, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, they're saying it would not prevent vote. It would not prevent your voting. Well, if it's not going to prevent your voting, then why are they bringing it up? And I would also bring this point up. If you guys remember the midterms in 2022 in Maricopa County in Arizona, where a lot of these Republican polling precincts went down, and Carrie Lake was, having her big battle in court, and, some people were sworn written affidavits that they were waiting in line so long that they got turned away because Some of these polling precincts were out of service. Okay, they couldn't, but they were down. The internet wasn't working on them, according to them. So they waited in line for hours that day. They eventually went home and didn't get to vote because they had responsibilities to get to. They had families, they had jobs. They can't sit in a line all day. Very understandable. So what Dan Bongino is saying, and a lot of creators, they've been talking about this a lot lately, of a potential cyber security attack. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if, in which case it were to happen, right, if you catch my drift, you're going to need to know what to do. You got to bank your vote. And what I mean by that is you have to register to vote early if your state allows it. Find out when that date is. Go online, vote, and bank your vote. Now, if you're I'm not saying don't go in person either, okay? Go in person still. But if you're going to be one of the ones that go in person, I would say this. Request a mail-in ballot as a backup. Okay? You can have a mail-in ballot requested and still vote in person, and it will not hinder your voting process in person. Because if you remember, we all got them in 2020, and we just ignored them, and we went in person to vote regardless, right? We kind of just threw them out or ripped them up. So what I would do is, if you're somebody who you're probably going to get one anyway, check into that, request one, fill it out, have it ready to go, just in case. Because if you do arise, and you are somebody who is in that situation, let's say you're in Arizona, probably going to want to do this. And I would definitely bank your vote if you live in Arizona. But if you're going to vote in person, request the mail-in ballot, fill it out, have it ready to go. If you go in person, anything happens, and you got to go home, you go pick up that mail-in ballot you already filled out, and you drop it off at the nearest drop box closest to you. And this way, you at least have a vote going to count towards something versus nothing at all, like the other people in Maricopa County during the midterms, where they just were sent home and, they felt very upset and frustrated that day, I'm sure. Very, very upset. So I would just say that. And there's a reason why they're bringing this up, guys. Why would they bring this up? And then they're going to say it's not going to hinder or affect your voting process? Really? So then what's the point of even bringing the situation to our attention? And why is the FBI getting involved in doing a joint public service announcement with them? I mean, what's that whole thing? I don't know, just something to think about. Dan Bongino brought it up, and I've been trying to share it with as many people as I know, because you guys, I would assume, this is the first time you're hearing this, you don't even know what any of this stuff is, and it's because the mainstream media doesn't cover these kind of things.
And if I just can chime along here, that banking vote is so important. One of the reasons the D's do so well is they have an amazing GOTV, which stands for Get Out the Vote, right? They have an amazing program. I can't dog them on it. They know exactly how to bus folks in. What we do is we traditionally love to vote on election day. That's what we do. Let's not do the same mistake we did in 2020. We need to make sure we get in there and that our vote counts, and get in there early if you can, and you can do it on person. And if you ask for an absentee, Justin, what you said was correct. You can bring your absentee on voting day, and they can accept that, or you can tell them, no, I want a new one. There are things that you can do, but make sure you actually vote.
Bank your vote. You got to bank it. In-person absentee. And you can find the information. I think it's, I want to say it's ncsl.org. Okay. Go to ncsl.org on your phone.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
Hey, I was actually going to say, because I'm actually signed up to be a poll watcher in Pennsylvania for this election, and I did do like a little orientation process about a week ago, and they did mention on there, like, if you were going to vote as like a mail-in ballot, and you did decide to change your mind, you would have to pretty much like surrender your mail-in ballot. So pretty much you would have to bring it to like the to whatever place you're going to be voting, and you got to pretty much surrender it at that place there. And if you don't surrender it, they said that there's another way you could vote, but it would actually put it in a process that your mail-in ballot will no longer be
I would just say this then. I guess it depends on each state. Each state is different. And I know in my state, I got a mail-in ballot in 2020, and I ignored it. I went in person to vote, but I still had that mail-in ballot. It's kind of weird. I even got sent it because I've never requested.
Yeah. What they say is they usually get flagged.
Yeah, that was because of the C, because of the big, that there are a lot of different states that were automatically sending out absentee ballots to everybody. That should not happen this election cycle.
So then
you will have to request it.
Do what Ed said, in-person absentee. And an in-person absentee voting is basically, that's where you actually get to fill it out, right, in person?
Right. That's what this guy was saying at the orientation. He said that there's a way that if you like want to vote in person, but lost your mail-in ballot or you didn't bring it with you, but you still want to vote, they still allow you to vote.
Doing it by paper ballot, if I'm not mistaken, right, Ed?
Correct. And so what you're talking about is on the different side of surrendering. What then happens is what's called a provisional vote. So
right. That's what it is. Yep. Yes, that's what it is.
But here's what happens with provisional votes. Provisional votes are not counted till after Election Day.
Correct.
And so what then has to happen is there's an entire committee, there's a canvassing board that gets together, and each state has a little bit different, different shades of the rule. But they will then decide, is that vote going to be counted? Are they double voting? Is there something wrong? Was the signature not correct? And so you don't even want to get to that category. You don't want to get to provisional. Yeah. You want your vote to be counted and
do in-person absentee.
In-person absentee works. And a lot of states now, including mine, has something that's called early voting, where you can literally go, I think it's a week beforehand. So I think the earliest election starts September 6th. People will start voting on this election September 6th in some states.
Listen to this. So number one, I'll give you the website where you can check when your state allows in-person absentee voting and early voting in person. If you go to ncsl.org, okay, and you type in, it's going to say, what are you looking for? When you get there, you'll type in early in-person voting, okay, and hit search. It's going to be the first search option. You're going to click on it. It'll say updated August 22nd, 2024. Okay, click on it.
Can I say something?
Hold on, it'll open up. Okay. And it'll have all the states in there, when early voting begins and when it ends. And it'll tell you if it's in-person early absentee. You can also go to, protectthevote.com with 2 T's. Okay. And if you scroll down, not every state is on there. Only some states are on here. I think there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. So the only states on here are, if you're in any of these states listening, Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, Maine, Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Texas, Virginia, Wisconsin. If you heard any of those states listed and you heard me say that and you live there, you will go to protectthevote.com, select your state, okay? After you select it, scroll down to the bottom and you select bank your vote, vote early, okay? And you can actually request your absentee ballot, or you can select to pledge to vote early in person. Okay, and you just follow the instructions, and it's as simple as that. You can do either or.
And so what Justin's talking about is there's three different ways of voting in some of these states, right? There's what's called absentee, which is the mail-in. There's what's called early voting, which usually means that they're like for example, in Orange County in Florida, where I live, all the libraries are precincts. It doesn't matter where you live, as long as you live in the county, you can go and vote, and they're going to give you the ballot. That's early voting. And the last mechanism of voting is actually on election day, where you have to go to your precinct, your local area where you vote. So those are the three mechanisms. And what you want to do is you want to use those two other ones. Stop waiting in line, gang. Go early voting. No one's waiting in line. On November 5th, everyone's in line. And if something happens, that means your vote is not going to be counted.
Okay, so you're saying that the absentee is actually a ballot. Okay, so what you're saying.
Yes.
So
and all three of them are ballots.
If you want to bank your vote early, okay, I would most likely say you probably want to do pledge to vote early in person.
It's either going to be absentee or early voting. Those are the two choices that you have.
Like if you can't find a ride to get down there, then you're going to need to do absentee ballot.
Absentee, exactly. And if you can, early voting in all those states that you just mentioned, all of them offer early voting where you can actually go and physically present yourself in a specified location. And usually they'll have multiple locations throughout your community where you can go and vote, and it's done. You don't have to wait in line on November 5th. It's over. Your vote has now been counted. And what that does, and I can't stress this, I've run elections before. I've actually run for office. I'm going to tell you this, that by you doing that, you are saving the campaign thousands of dollars, thousands upon thousands of dollars. Because if I don't know that you have already voted, I'm going to keep on going after you. If you're a Trump supporter, get them out of the way. You don't need to be on that list. The campaign does not need to contact you anymore. What we do is we need you to contact other folks. So if you can bank your vote early, do it. Take advantage of it. And once you do it once, you're going to fall in love with it because you're never going to have to deal with election day again.
Yeah. So does anybody have any questions?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is not relevant to the current topic, but I was in your live. I don't know when it was, but it was when it was randomly taken down. I don't know if you remember. And there was a guy on here. Y'all were talking about stolen valor, and his name was The Real Foxtrot, and he claimed to be a master sergeant in the Marine Corps. And I looked him up, and he's definitely not. So y'all were grifted by this guy, thinking he earned a Bronze Star, because he said that. He originally started his statement by saying, I was, what?
How are you going to call somebody out without any type of receipts?
I can't show you the receipts, but just look him up. It's The Real Foxtrot. Like, he was on your live. I'm a Marine, too. I did 9 years, so I know.
You know his real name?
No, but I looked up his account.
So then how do you even know if he didn't serve? You don't even know his real name.
Because he did serve. I'm not saying he didn't serve. I'm just saying he only served for a certain amount of time. He is a veteran. I'm just saying I thought it was funny that he was saying he was a master sergeant with a Bronze Star, which he did say, but on his account, on here on TikTok, he has his hat with his ribbons on it, which he did serve during Desert Storm. He went to Iraq, Kuwait, or whatever, but he doesn't have the Bronze Star on there. So I just find that weird that the Bronze Star is such a high medal. Wouldn't you have that in your decorations? So I just thought it was
he literally said word for word he has it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but didn't he say he had it framed on his wall or something like that?
Yeah, but he has a hat with his ribbons on it, and he doesn't display that there.
If he's got it framed on his wall on a picture.
Lady, you're stretching. Why are you against? Why are you so liberal?
Okay, I voted Trump last time, but I'm so liberal. I'm just telling you that that guy is lying to you.
Hey, Ed, I got a question for you, Ed.
Literally
is that
giving you the benefit of the doubt to let you know that he was lying, but it was the ironic part that he was calling stolen valor.
Are you in our Discord?
No, I'm
Isn't
not.
this a debate?
No, Yannette, are you in our Discord?
Isn't this a debate forum? I thought that was.
No, I'm
what you guys
asking if
do
you
here.
are in our Discord.
No, I'm not.
Are you voting Trump this time around?
No, I'm not.
Exactly, liberal. Bye.
Wait,
Gosh,
it's
I
not.
know you guys. I can
it's
smell
not
you
your
guys out.
life,
I can
though.
sniff you guys out. I can sniff you guys out. I really can.
Okay. Well,
You guys have the stench. You guys have the stench. You guys have the
She was
stench.
a liberal when she said, "But I voted Trump."
I voted Trump last time.
Because a true Trump supporter doesn't attack somebody like that.
I'm not attacked. I'm literally doing
And
you a
reach.
favor.
Why don't if you do
Not
research,
doing
why don't you
anything.
message him?
You don't even.
Why don't you message him instead of blasting him? Okay, with because he doesn't have a brown star on his hat. Why don't you message him and ask him the story?
Oh
I just
my
invited
God.
him in here so he can prove you wrong.
That's
Wow.
fine. I would love to ask him
Perfect.
questions. As a Marine who is a staff sergeant myself, I would love to ask him
I
questions.
bet you would. So what's your excuse for Tim Walz then using stolen valor? Since you're bringing the topic up and whatnot.
Did I excuse it? The experts say, by the way, I read the
You
report.
voting Harris?
Most
Of course
likely,
she
yes.
is.
Okay. So then, if you bring in this gentleman's issues
Why,
up.
are you asking me a question? Do you want me to answer it?
Well, ma'am, I'm making a statement here first. If you're bringing this gentleman's issues up about stolen valor, okay, which you cannot prove, but we can prove Tim Walz did do stolen valor. Why would you vote for a candidate? You being in the military yourself, knowing this, this brought the issue up to our attention about one of our friends. Then why are you voting for somebody who is displaying that same type of behavior and enabling it by voting them in?
Because I read the reports. I did my own research independently. And they did 4 interviews, one of which was one of the persons that was co-writer to the Stolen Valor Act, which I think it was in 2004. I'm not sure when it happened. One of the co-writers even said that it is not defined as stolen valor, but he does say that he did embellish his record. Embellish and stolen valor are different. This is coming from the expert. It's not conjecture.
What do
I'm
you
saying
mean?
it's coming from the experts.
We have 2 eyewitnesses from his unit personally who have come out saying that he has stolen valor. We have the gentleman who took his actual position in the unit personally because Tim Walz at the time deserted that unit and ran away from the bullets and avoided a deployment to Iraq to run for a congressional seat. And so Tom Behrens had to step up to the plate and was glad to do it at the time. And so he led that team into battle. And John Kolb was another gentleman who was part of that unit as well. And they both came out and said that this gentleman, in fact, did lie about his service record. He never retired as a command sergeant major. He retired as a master sergeant. Okay, he was demoted to an E8 upon him, abandoning the deployment and deserting his unit, and then not completing the 2-year academy to run for a congressional seat. And they're saying it's not so much that people are, disputing the fact that he originally was pinned that. Right?
So you're not going to take the word of the experts that wrote the Stolen Valor Act?
He was demoted. Okay.
You're not going to put that into account? Experts
I'm not.
saying
I'm not.
that it's not counting as, that
no
it is embellishment but not stolen valor?
Can
I ask a question? Okay, you're the expert.
So,
Cool.
Yeah, I'm presenting you facts. What do you mean? Facts are indisputable. I don't have to be.
And I'm presenting you facts.
Okay, it's facts.
They called it embellishment, but it's not
facts?
defined as stolen valor.
I have a question for Yannette. Okay, so what does embellish mean? Is it integrity and honorable to embellish your resume, to mislead people?
No, because he served as that rank, so he said it, so he used it.
It's, we're
Obviously,
not,
to score
ma'am.
points.
We're not
The
saying
problem
there is
isn't
no-
whether he
I'm
served
talking
that
about
rank.
stolen valor.
Yes, this is stolen valor.
It's
The problem
not.
is
The
he's
definition,
lying about
look up the act.
no. The act is him lying about his service record. He said he retired as a command sergeant major, and he brags and boasts about this. It's literally all over his website, and we can count, numerous amount of times he said, "I'm a retired command sergeant major. I'm a command sergeant major retired. I'm a command sergeant." He's not. He was demoted to a master sergeant. He never completed the 2-year academy that is required. Okay, so that is stolen valor when you lie and embellish on your service record to further a political career. It's pretty disrespectful to those who actually did serve, and obtain that rank, which Thomas Behrens did. He was in his unit and stepped up to the plate when they needed a leader the most at that time. He actually finished the academy. He led that unit into battle in Iraq, and they went towards the bullets while Tim Walz ran away from those bullets, okay? And
How
that's
do you know he ran away?
So, Yannette, let me ask you a question.
We have 2 eyewitnesses who are in the unit who said he did. John
There
Cole
was rumors that they were going to deploy,
It's not
but
a
he didn't
rumor.
have orders.
The audio of Tom Behrens literally saying this. We have a eyewitness testimony of John Kolb as well that we could pull up on the screen. I mean, we could start pulling up receipts if you'd like. That's not a problem.
No, I'm going to do my own independent research. I just thought I was doing you a favor by letting you know that Foxtrot guy was lying on your live.
Now
I just
you want
thought
to
you
bring
would
up
appreciate that.
Foxtrot because I proved you wrong. I was getting ready to dog walk you. Okay.
Yeah, give us some source that you said that they found that they embellished that record.
The source?
Yeah.
I would have to look it up.
Yannette, my question is to you: did he or did he not say that he went to war?
No, he said he carried weapons of war.
No.
Corrected the statement.
He said
No.
he went into
Okay,
war.
now you need to
He
do your
never said he went to
research.
combat. He never
You
said he
need
went
to do your
combat.
research. He said, "I carried this in war."
That's right.
So if you're going to come here and
war.
actually do facts, make sure you actually do the correct facts.
I watched him say that.
Can you let me finish?
The video's out
Can you
there.
let me finish? Ed,
Yes, but when you're saying something that's factually incorrect, the answer is no.
Can you let me have some restraint? Can you have some restraint, please? Thank you. He said, I carried those weapons in war. And then there was a correction.
You're making me want to throw up here.
So, Yannette, when was that correction made?
So listen.
His campaign.
In his campaign for vice president.
By the way,
So, how many years from that point that he said that it had to be corrected? And not only in addition to that, it was also had to be corrected on the bio on the website for Harris because it had to be changed to Italy. So let's not come here and try to tell us that he did not lie.
and
He did.
listen. I can sit in the cockpit of an airplane, right?
Mhm.
I sit in the cockpit of an airplane. It doesn't make me a pilot. Okay? That's the problem here with Tim Walz. Okay? He can obtain the rank. Okay, that's fine. But if he didn't go through the necessary requirements to officially obtain that rank and retire as that rank, then he has no right to say he retired as that rank just because he achieved it for maybe not even a couple of weeks, and then, avoided a deployment, okay, ran from a deployment, ran away from the bullets, and then retired. And he did it because he wanted to run for a congressional seat. Apparently he thought that was more important than, joining his brothers and, banding behind them. He's a coward.
That's just conjecture. You're making that up. That's conjecture.
I'm not making that up. So
That's
if you
your
like,
opinion.
no, it's not.
It's
It's not
an
opinion. It's a
opinion.
fact. It's a fact. I can play the audio.
You don't know why he left. You don't know
I
why.
do know why. I have an eyewitness testimony right here. Okay, so I'm going to play Tom Behrens here. Okay, he served in the unit. He actually.
And I have an eyewitness testimony that he saw your mom.
He stepped up to the plate at the time. Okay, when Tim Walz abandoned him.
What did you say about his mom, you weirdo?
What'd you say, you loony leftist lunatic liberal?
This is how you're gonna get votes for you guys.
What did you say about his mom?
You're going to get votes. You're going to name call because you're getting dog walked.
I didn't call you names.
You said something about his mom.
Something
And I
about
said I can get an eyewitness that saw your mom, as in like anybody can
Oh
have an
yeah,
eyewitness.
no, that's
an opinion.
disrespectful.
How is
Whatever.
that backed up?
All right,
He's
you're dropped.
wow, what an idiot.
You're
What a
dropped.
waste of time. There's no saving these people. There really isn't.
They're supposed to be the party of joy. They're supposed to
Justin.
be acceptance.
Yeah, Justin, didn't Biden actually do the same thing, like withdraw from the military as well?
You guys are the party of hate. You guys are the party of attack. And we know this because you display this behavior every single day. You guys displayed this behavior the entire Democratic National Convention. I actually made an executive decision here to change the name of the Democratic National Convention to the Donald National Convention because of how many times they leave Donald Trump's name. You know, it was more about Donald Trump and more than it was about talking about the real issues going on in this country and how we can fix them. They were more worried about President Trump, who's been out of office almost 4 years now. Meanwhile, this lady's been in office the last 4 years, and she's supposed to be running for re-election? What the hell has she actually done? People are going to be
Exactly.
their pocketbooks this election, their pockets. And what I mean by that is people are living paycheck to paycheck. They are struggling to make ends meet. They are struggling to pay for rent. They are struggling to pay for gas. They are struggling to pay for groceries. Okay? And if they haven't seen any improvements in the last 4 years, why would they then give that same person another chance based on an empty promise that was never kept in the first place? And it's like flipping a quarter in the air and hoping it lands on heads or tails, and you're calling it as it comes down. And that is what people need to really, really think about. But anyways, I wanted to prove this loony leftist lunatic liberal wrong. I wanted to play Tom Behrens, who is an eyewitness who served in the unit. He was promoted to command sergeant major. He actually finished the academy. He did all the requirements necessary to officially obtain that rank and retire as that rank officially. He didn't lie about his service record to further a political career. And that's the difference between, Tim Walz and Donald Trump as well. Tim Walz is running for VP, number one. Number two, Donald Trump is running for president. Number three, Donald Trump never claimed to have served in the military. Number four, Donald Trump never claimed he was a rank or a certain rank in the military to further his political career. Because you loony leftist lunatic liberals like to bring that up as well. But that's the difference, okay? And you even have J.D. Vance, for instance. He's running as VP. He served in the Marines. You hear him claiming a false rank or a fake rank that he retired as to further his political career and garner attention and get more votes? No, he doesn't do that. He's not fake. He's not a coward. So anyways, we're going to play Tom Behrens here. This is his eyewitness, experience and his story to the matter at hand. And I think he deserves to be heard if he was in the unit. So let's
just throwing this out there before you play that lady, she could have been working on their waistline instead of spending time investigating people on her panel. That's all I'm saying.
And I got one thing to say, Justin. Hey guys, we got 217 people in here. Why are we just now at 91,000 likes? Why is Justin not just like 3/4 of the way to his goal? Come on, guys.
Let's get this up here. We should have been at 150,000 by now. I know I haven't really been pushing it. You guys, for me not asking one time to like the live, you guys got us almost at 100K. I mean, you guys, you're doing fantastic. You guys are amazing. We appreciate your support. And if we could ask you, if you can get us up to 150,000 likes here, in the next 10 or 15 minutes, tap the screen, Tap the screen on Donald Trump's big, beautiful head right here, or RFK.
Working on it.
But if you're in the panel, don't do it. Only the viewers. Tap on the screen until the little red bar at the top of the screen fills up. Once it's filled up all the way, keep it filled up at all times. And tap it for a good 5 minutes straight if you can. The more people that tap it, the quicker we'll get to 150,000 likes. Also, if you tap the orange heart at the top of the screen, and you join our team, if you're already part of the team, when you click on that orange heart, you'll select send a heart me. Okay, you can do it once per day, and it helps us out. Okay, and this guy's muted and blocked. Mods, get this scumbag out of here.
Which one is that?
I literally can't do it because.
But Justin, you did make a good point earlier. I mean, this lady has been in office now for over 3.5 years. I mean, she had all the time. She had all the time in the world to pretty much do everything that she's mentioning now that she wants to do. I mean, now that she's saying that she's going to do everything that she's going to do, why didn't she do that when she was in office? And from where these people should be seeing is that all she's doing is selling people broken promises. She's not going to do any of this stuff, and I doubt if she is going to do any of this stuff. And if she was, why didn't she do it when she's in power right now? She's in office now. So therefore, so.
Let me get this out real quick because I was trying to finish what I was saying to people. But after you tap on that orange heart at the top of the screen and you join our team, or you send that heart me, gifts help us out as well too. Tapping the screen, keeping the engagement in the chat going. Following us if you're new, hit the red follow button at the top of the screen. If I do a poll here, for instance, and I start a poll and I put it at the top left of the screen here with the blue check mark, right above where it says host and right below where it says multi-guest. If you tap on that with your finger, it'll open up the poll. You tap to touch screen your answer. That'll bring in views. See how our views are already going up from doing all this? So basically what this is called is engagement. So the more gifts you send, the more you like the live, the more you comment in the chat, the more people that join our team, the more people that follow. All these things combined create engagement. And the more engagement we get means the more viewers we get. The more viewers we get means the more opposition we get. And the more viewers we get means the more people we get to join our MAGA family. So we want a combination of both. I'm going to play Tom Behrens here for you because I promised you I would. So put a little W in the chat.
Let's go.
If you're ready for this, if you want to hear this, I need to know if you guys want to hear it. Single capital W in the chat. I mean, I need at least 100 W's.
100 single
W's. Go for it, Justin.
And I think that if for you Mamacitas out there, you guys have permission to click on my profile picture, below my picture, copy it, and get it tattooed anywhere on your body.
Hey, Justin, is it all right if I say something real quick?
Let me just play this here real quick, and then I'll do it after. Because I've been kind of pushing this off here. Hold on, it'll be quick.
You're the one that served with Walls, right? Well, I got attached to that unit in 2005.
All right, look, brother. I already know who you are. That's why I invited you up. But I'm the host. Let me play the video first so people can get context here of what's going on.
The public needs to know how pathetic his leadership was as a National Guardsman.
On a 150-year-old farm in Brewster, Tom Behrens hopes his tell-it-like-it-is style will finally get the attention he believes it deserves in Minnesota's race for governor. In a way, he's back again to wage a public war of words against Tim Walz.
He abandoned us. What the hell kind of leader does that? He just, as soon as the shots were fired in Iraq, he turned and ran the other way and hung his hat up and quit.
We'll get to Behrens' new message for voters in a moment. But this all starts years earlier when Behrens says Walz' misleading statements about his military service first led him to come forward in the fall of 2018. So you try to get this message out, but Minnesota's largest newspaper checks it out, says it's 100% true, but yet refuses to print.
And when I hung the phone up, I said, what the hell is this, North Korea?
Back in 2005, a warning order went out to the 1st Battalion, 125th Field Artillery to mobilize for a mission to Iraq. At the time, Walz served as the unit's highest non-commissioned officer, but months later, Walz would retire from the Guard, avoid the deployment, and run for Congress. Tom Behrens was next in line for the position and was asked to take his place.
I was like, well, for Pete's sake, if this guy quit, And if I say I'm not going to do it, I mean, what the hell kind of leadership is that? If a company would say that we're going to deploy to Iraq or somewhere and you're going to be gone for whatever amount of time, and then a foreman just says, no, I'm not going. I mean, what does that say to the 500 people that work in that factory?
Behrens would go on to serve in Iraq on a nearly 2-year deployment as a command sergeant major. All while Walls began using that title as a congressman. Behrens says he first contacted Walls with his concerns, sending these letters to Washington. They all went unanswered. But then we fast forward to the election in 2018 in Minnesota, and you try at that time to get people's attention with this story and also with what seems to be a very misleading statement that he continued to make about his service.
It kind of just sat there, when he was a congressman, he bragged that he was a command sergeant, retired command sergeant major. I'm the highest ranking person ever in the House, and all this lie that he was telling. The state of Minnesota came out after 2018, after this was exposed, and they said, well, he can say that he served as a command sergeant major, but he can't say he's a retired one because he's not.
And that's what he was saying.
And he was saying that, and there was lots of public, lots of cards coming in the mail, for him to be elected. They said right on there he's a retired command sergeant major, just tooting his own horn, just hanging on the coattails of people that actually are command sergeant majors that went through all the process and put all the time in.
A spokesperson for the Minnesota National Guard said Walls wasn't able to retire as a command sergeant major since he failed to complete coursework and requirements related to the rank. Verified documents show the Army corrected his service record. Walls was reduced in rank to an E8 Master Sergeant after retirement and his conditional promotion. Alpha News again asked Governor Walls if he's using the command sergeant major rank on his campaign website for political gain this year. A spokesperson said this has been in the news before and pointed us to a past story where Walls said, quote, normally this type of partisan political attack only comes from one who's never worn a uniform.
It's stolen valor is really what it is. I don't know of anybody else that's done what he's done.
Thank you for the gifts, Shark. I appreciate that. Thank you for the gifts, guys. I want to shout out the top 10 gifters. Yvonne, Cajun, Jonathan, Shark, Kristen, Omega, Too Late, Valerie, Ambelina, Kim. Go ahead and pick the top 10 gifters up. Give them a follow. If you guys can as well. We're almost at 150K likes. You guys are rocking it. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support. Let's see if we can get to 175K. I know we're really close to 150. We're at an hour and 50 minutes, so we should be at 150,000 right now as we speak, but we can easily catch up to it. Basically, what we want to do is 1,000 likes per minute, right? If we do over 1,000 likes per minute, then we're ahead of schedule. We're basically having to catch up now. We are technically about 7 hours away from 6 a.m. That's how long I usually stay on here. And we try to be at anywhere between 400,000 and 500,000 likes, right? So when 6 a.m. comes and the algorithm catches on, it's going to shoot people into the lives who have more likes and more engagement going on at that time, which we usually do pretty good because we're we're ahead of the curve on it. But keep tapping that screen. Look, you guys almost got 10,000 likes in less than 60 seconds.
Did you see that, bro? Oh my God, they like
you guys are amazing.
Also, if you are in the panel, just check your live status settings. Click on the interact button or the multi-guest button down below, and then you can click on live status settings and make sure it's turned on. So that way, everyone that follows you can also see that you're live and they know where to come.
And Justin, just to make an announcement, I said let's do 150K before 11:20. It's 11:12 right now, and I said that.
Is the more people that like let's say if you can even get just 30 people to like the live all at the same time, you're going to be doing 30K likes maybe every 2 minutes easy. It's the more people that participate in it together, the faster the likes go up. So right now you have a lot of people liking it at the same time, and they're all in the same groove. They're all in the same momentum, and it's just shooting the numbers up even quicker than you could imagine. So it's actually pretty amazing. I've never seen it go this fast. It just goes to show we're gaining more support to our lives, and people are actually supporting us. So we appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, people that don't tap, I just fact checked this. There are kittens that die if you don't fact check. So please, or if you don't tap. So if you want to save the kittens, tap.
Not the kittens.
Justin, can I say something real quick? I don't think that most people understand the work that goes into becoming a certain rank in the military and the sacred oath that those servicemen and women take. My dad was a ranger. He was one of the Screaming Eagles in the 101st, and he's buried in Arlington. And he would be appalled that an Army serviceman lied about his rank on written record to be able to gain whatever political career he endeavors towards. I don't think people understand how important and what an ethical code is followed for all the service members. I don't think people understand it.
So let's finish this video up here. We're almost done here. Guys, we're almost at 200K likes. That's crazy.
I'm currently watching it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we literally went from, what were we at, 120K to 175 in less than 3
I think you started out with 1 when you first started.
We were at 92,000.
Oh.
We weren't even at 100K. We've literally gone from 92,000 to almost another 100. If we hit 192,000, that's 100,000 likes in 5 minutes, basically. But let's listen to the rest of this audio recording here. It's almost done. It's like 2 minutes left, and we'll discuss it.
He called it the truth about Tim Walz.
In 2018, Behrens gave the story the full court press.
We, retired command sergeant majors of the Minnesota National Guard, feel it is our duty and responsibility to bring forth the truth as we know it concerning his service record. I put together information on it, and I sent it out to every single radio station and newspaper and TV station I could in the state. The bottom line in all of this is gut-wrenching and sad to explain. When the nation called, he quit.
Twin Cities TV stations and the Star Tribune were silent, even after Barrett says the newspaper checked it all out. The Star Tribune endorsed Walz in 2018 for governor. Between lockdowns, riots, unchecked crime, and a charred police precinct, Behrens felt he had no choice but again to come forward.
Allowing that to be burned down was just like having the Alamo get burned down. It's like, no, you defend that to the last man. If he would have went to Iraq, he'd still be hiding under his desk over there. Because that's just, just the cowardice that I seen portrayed with him.
So how about when he also comes out and he calls you guys 19-year-old cooks?
I'd take any 19-year-old cook before I'd go to war with him. I don't know how he could even utter such a statement. I mean, it's just absolutely sad.
So this election year, it's all built up again to Barron's new grain bin message.
He called Jacob Fry an abject failure. So I was like, that's what he is.
Walz is a traitor, also made a return.
And the last one I put together, he said it himself too, as well. If they don't like my job, they can vote me out. So we got to vote him out. We need to vote him out.
Yeah, so that's basically the whole video. Look, guys, we caught up. So we're at 1 hour and 56 minutes. So that basically means we need to be at 196,000 likes. So now we're actually on projection now. We're at 197,000 likes here. So now we need to just really go in overdrive and just, get ahead of the goal as quick as we can. The goal is 500,000 likes before 6 a.m. I have a feeling we're going to hit it within the next hour, to be honest, because you guys are doing such a great job. We're going to look for some opposition to come up here. We're going to try to make this a little more interesting. If you're a Democrat requesting to come up and you're a Harris supporter, well, you guys are doing fantastic, by the way. I know you're already in overdrive, but I'm saying let's pick it up a notch. I know we got more in us. I'm trying to motivate you guys. You guys are doing an amazing job. And I just want to keep the momentum going. But we
I also learned if you tap with your elbow, it's a lot faster too.
We appreciate it. So if you're a Democrat, go ahead and request to come up here, or put a capital D in the chat. Ryan will look out for it. we'll drop somebody here if somebody wants to volunteer to go
Yeah,
down.
I'm feeling frisky.
I'm feeling frisky too.
You can take me down, Justin.
Hey, Justin, I want y'all to do a simple Google search of strength through joy. The main comment that was made at the Democratic convention last night, and see who paraphrased that statement all the time, and that'd be Schmachis. Just Google it, simple Google search. It'll pop up the first thing you see.
So I was a full-blown Kennedy supporter, and now he's joined Trump, and I'm still skeptical because of what else. See, it's just mostly about Palestine. That's a big issue to me. Big issue.
Well, I would say this: what matters the most to you right now? Is it the border? Is it the economy? Like, you know, your means to living, like paying your rent, affording groceries, affording gas.
These problems, they are really terrible issues, but it's not comparable to people living in their own refuse.
So would you agree that the bloodshed needs to stop?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And do you think this ever would have happened under Donald Trump?
Yes, because...
Do you really think... Well, hold on, because you have to understand...
the Palestinian people don't have the access to media or information.
They're state-run media is what it is. They don't have access to it because Hamas controls the whole region. So what I'm trying to say
is what their lifestyle is like, they don't have any reason to focus on U.S. politics because their life sucks so bad. Like,
I understand that. Listen, and me personally, as an American, I think we should just stay out of it completely. I think we need to do. I like what Donald Trump.
I agree there. Politically, yeah, I think we should definitely stay.
And if you remember when Trump was on that town hall on CNN specifically, and you remember that moderator that tried tripping him up and asking him to pick sides, and he goes, "I'm not for either side." He said, "I just want people to stop dying." And he said, "I would have a deal worked out in 24 hours or less."
It was what he said recently.
That was Ukraine and Russia, right? He's referring to all conflicts. He's going to resolve all of them. He's going to be the one to bring, he's going to say, "I can offer you peace." Okay. I've done it before. I can do it again. And I'm not seeing that from the Biden administration. I'm not seeing.
Yeah, they're doing nothing. Like
Democrats, they're enabling it, if anything, by just not saying anything. They're not even.
They're helping them make it worse, and they're making our lives worse at the same time. So it's like they're doing everything completely terribly and just completely selling us out to.
Well, listen, if you're an RFK supporter, then you know more than anybody that he was done pretty dirty by his party. And
it was a very good. I'm literally watching the speech right now.
Yeah, they sabotaged his campaign.
Absolutely, they sabotaged the live stream.
That was an excellent speech, by the way. Excellent speech.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And what I would say is, this is what RFK Jr. means by, me and Trump may not agree with a lot of things eye to eye, but we can both agree on that we have been attacked by the same people. We have been censored. We have been after. We have been weaponized. And if RFK can put his differences aside and Trump can put his differences aside and they can come together and unify as one.
That's what was really starting to inspire me about this. I have to think about it.
I'm going to start using this more as a talking point so we can bring people together, because that's all that matters at the end of the day, is bringing people together and unifying as one to go after the true enemy, the enemy within, the regime, the establishment, the special interest and lobbyist groups, the DS. I can't say the full name, but the DS, if you know what I'm talking about, the elites. And I only see two people who are actually against them and who have been sought after by them. And if, we lose this, we lose that permanently, that battle, because they're the only ones.
It's the strength, too. It's the strength, too. That's the main component, because Jill Stein, Jill Stein has the best.
They did the same thing. They did the same thing to Ted Kennedy too. You have to understand, like, what they've done to the Kennedys, what the DS has done to the Kennedys over the years. Like, it's crazy.
It's like they can't unalive this whole
the first time. Think about this.
Thank you for that gift.
America's Democrat Party, okay, America's Party, the Kennedys, the first Kennedy, okay, came over to the Republican side. That should blow everybody away. And because it's not a Republican movement anymore, like Trump's only on the Republican ticket just because he has to be. It's not a Republican movement. It's a whole different movement. It really is. And I promise you, these Republicans that are in the House right now, these established ones, they're going to retire. They're going to quit. And, you know, it might take a few years to get them out of there, but it's going to be a whole different movement. You're going to see, I really think, a whole new party. They might retain the label, but it's going to be a whole new party.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So if your main issue is Palestine, which I understand, who do you think the main agitator in the Middle East is?
Oh,
Who's the main funder?
Israel.
So who's the one who's funding
They're the main agitator here too, though. That's
let's take a step back. So who's the main funder in the Middle East, though, to a lot of the T groups?
Israel.
It's actually Iran, right? Iran is one of the main agitators. So one of the things that Trump has talked about, if we want peace in that area.
Well, what is a T group, though? It's one that causes fear.
And but just hear me out here for a second, okay? So they're the main funder. Right now they have excess cash, right? So one of the concepts that Trump had and did very well during his administration is he cut the faucet on the funding for Iran on a lot of extra things until they got their things all correct, right? So that led to stability in that region, and that led to the Abraham Accords. So if you want peace in that area, he proved it in his last 4 years that he was able to stabilize it to a certain degree. And so if your main concept is to create peace in that area so that Palestinians can actually live and not be in a pew-pew area, that seems to be the best case scenario, is let's stabilize the community. Now, there are a lot of different angles that we can go, and you can say Israel, you can say all these different types of countries, but at the end of the day, they're the main agitator that funds a lot of these groups that will be aggressors.
Well, that's why this
isn't from Israel, and they're supposed to.
This isn't okay. So Israel, by the way, I have to dispute you because Israel did let 20% of Palestinians. 20% of their population was Palestinians. They let them work there. They let them worship there. They let them pray there. They let them go to school there. Meanwhile, Palestine never let one single Israelite or Jewish person in their camp. So we have to call that out. But secondly, the whole thing, I think what we're trying to make is the Abraham Accords is so important because the word Abraham, okay? Because this is a religious war. This is a property war. No matter what. They try to fool you. They try to lie to you. They're saying it's a property war. It's not. This is a religious war, okay? What's nice about the Abraham Accords is that Muslims and both Israel believe that Abraham is their father. That's why it was such a beautiful peace treaty, and that name was so appropriate for it, and they all coalesced behind that name. And they all, it's funny because you had UAE, you had Saudi Arabia, you had Jordan, I believe Yemen. They were all united against one state sponsor of terror, which is Iran, because nobody in Egypt, nobody wants to see bloodshed in the region. Nobody.
Have you heard of the Balfour Declaration?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
That's originally what was supposed to be what happened, where the Jewish people could come there.
Yeah, so you and I are going to disagree on this because I believe in the Bible. Okay, so that's where you and I are going to disagree.
That's where they're manipulating the narrative, is that they're saying that they are the original
the oldest historic book, the historic book in history gives the land to Israel. I don't care what anyone says.
It's based on the Torah, which is what actually religious Jews
appreciate that, Winnie.
Now, when it comes
so Nick, do you agree that you want stability in the area?
Everybody wants stability in the area. But you can't just say that you want stability in the area.
But no. That's why I'm not just saying you want stability. Let's use the example that in his short 4 years that he was able to bring stability to the area. So you may not agree with him on every single issue, and nor would I agree with Trump on every single exact issue. But if you want stability, currently the current administration, where VP Harris is currently a leading member of, is not bringing stability to the community. Plain and simple. Trump brought stability to the area. So we can have these arguments of who's right, if it's the Israelis, if it's the Palestinians, fine. Let's shut the faucet down, bring stability so we can have those arguments. Right now,
Stop the bloodshed. Stop the bloodshed.
Let's stop the bloodshed. Let's stop the faucet of money that's going into funding all these wars were coming from one specific country. We do not need to be sending planes with billions and billions of dollars to Iran. It does not need to happen. Under the Trump administration, it did not. So let's at least stop that.
Like 2 or 3 months ago, and then we sent $4 billion 2 months ago. I think we sent another $1.5 billion just a month ago. That's just part of a deal that they have, though.
But we're talking about Iran, though. We're talking about one of the main agitators in the area. And if you want stability,
isn't telling me to hate anybody.
No one's telling you to hate anybody. All I'm saying is if you are going to jump
on most media to focus on, we'll say, Muslims, and it's very directed at a certain group that I don't see actually hurting anybody.
What?
And I do see one group who's telling me, who owns
Hamas
the media,
is in full control.
Who's telling everybody, listen to this, hate these people, hate these people. These people are trying to hurt you. These people are causing your problems.
Look, you and I are going to disagree on
Lyndon B. Johnson, probably the worst Democrat of all time. He said something about you take a YT man and you put another one below him. And somebody broke down what he said. It was like, as long as you're looking down on all these other people, you never look up to see who's pulling the strings. Like, you're always focusing on the poor people who don't have a chance in these situations, and it's never about.
Brother, they're under a T-word regime. The Palestinian people are absolutely ruled by T-words. These people hide out in hospitals.
They're
they
a
have
democratic community. They had a democratic
community.
I'm sorry, Nick, that's incorrect.
It is correct. I know Palestinians. I know some of them.
No, they don't, brother. How come they've been in power since, 1972?
They allow Christians. They're one of the only...
No, they do
No, Nick, I'm sorry, that's very incorrect.
Up to a quarter of Palestinians are Christian.
That's not true.
It is true. There's blonde people there.
So, Nick, my question is, how many Muslims live in Israel?
A lot. A couple million.
2 million. Peacefully. In Israel.
Not peacefully. They
don't go inside. They have mosques. They live there. You go to Jerusalem, the blue mosque is there.
How many Jews live in Palestine?
By the IDF.
How many Jews live in Palestine?
They're Gentiles. They're Gentiles. They're not Jews.
There's the question.
Same under Jewish law.
Brother, listen, I know you're nice and everything, but everything you're spouting is misinformation, man.
It's not correct.
That is
not correct.
Google any of this. Like,
you can Google
the rabbinical Talmud is what they study. They don't study the original Talmud or the Torah, which is what religious Orthodox Jews, they study that.
Okay, my question to you is, does
God.
The H group recognize Jews?
Yes.
Incorrect. It's actually literally in their charters. They want the eradication of Jews and Israelites.
Well, they believe
want
that they
the eradication.
are also original Jews, because the Semites were any.
Guys, I'm sorry. I cannot have an age group supporter up here. I'm so sorry, man. It's too much, man. It's just too much for me.
Ryan, thank you so much. I was really holding myself back there, man. I was really just trying to be as politically correct as possible. It was killing me.
Yeah, no. Listen. I'm willing to sacrifice the vote for misinformation all day long. I'm sorry. I can't deal with it, man. It's having Jewish blood in me, man. I can't handle it. I can't.
Look, I'm married to a Jewish woman, and my children are Jewish, and I was just holding back so much there that I was trying so hard there.
Right. The point you're trying to make, and it's a good point, and we'll get back to Trump because we have to talk about Trump. But the point you're trying to make is how many Jews live in Palestine, and the answer is zero.
Zero.
I mean, absolutely zero. So that's all. But anyways, get back to Trump.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate that.
Yeah, sorry, man. So I couldn't take it no more.
I was going to do the same thing.
It wasn't being very what do you call it, beneficial to this conversation. So,
And he was
guys, we look at this. We're almost at 250K, guys. You guys are freaking rock stars, man. Absolute rock stars. Mega
You guys are giving me carpal tunnel.
You guys are killing us, man. It's amazing.
Oh man, we still got 2 minutes to go. I said 250.
Yeah, we're doing fantastic here, guys. We are way ahead of schedule. We're at 2 hours and 12 minutes, which means at this time we should have been at 212,000 likes. We are at more than double that, maybe triple that. So we're doing fantastic. Let's see how quick we can get to 300K.